Yeah, it's fine.
So, hi everyone. Good evening, first of all, and I am Madhuganda. And today we are here to discuss about women and women's hygiene and protection during menstruation. First of all, I want to thank Alekhya for bringing the topic on the table, and all the Sundarbans group leaders for coming forward this initiative. So first our question is, what is menstruation? Menstruation is basically shredding of uterus lining when it doesn't get a fertilized egg. The lining usually takes a month to form, so a woman usually gets period after every month. Now moving on to Alekhya. Alekhya ma'am will tell us more broadly about what is menstruation and menstruation cycle. So Alekhya
Um,
ma'am.
Thank you, Madhu, for the introduction. So, menstruation or periods start at the age of 12 to 14, or it could be even earlier these days. These days, I see girls getting them around 8. So, it starts from 8 years to can extend up to 14 years. So, it starts when puberty hits us. So, it's so puberty is when we start to become when our body starts to become an adult, like the signs of becoming an adult starts. We grow tall, we might gain weight or reduce weight, and women women get their shape of the body, and yeah, that's when our periods or menstrual cycle starts. So what happens is, throughout the month, uh, the uterus forms a lining, and when uterus is forming the lining, the ovaries start to release an egg which comes to the fallopian tube, and when it's not fertilized, that's when period happens. So it's release of an egg with shedding of the egg and the uterus lining, and it happens every 24 days, or 24 days to 32 days, depending on the woman's body and health.
Yes. Also, I think it's also more related to women's hormones,
Yeah.
estrogen and progesterone, because
Yes.
they are the basic rider of this process, basically.
Yes.
Because they are the only thing that release this egg and release these hormones to cause the fertilized egg, formation of fertilized egg. So I also think that they are also kind of related to it.
Yes. So first,
Also,
these
yeah,
hormones increase when the process of lining, when uterus lining is being formed and the egg is released. These hormones increase, and when the period starts, they fall all of a sudden. That's when the mood swings and everything comes in place due to the sudden rise and fall.
I think the age of when a woman starts menstruating also depends upon the genetic factors, depends upon her, like the line of all the women, like all the women she has before her, like her mom, her
Yeah, the
grandmom, all the
generations.
people. Yeah, it depends upon the genetic factors also.
Yeah, it also depends upon the heredity, and this actually the cycle lasts for about 28 days. Means the period between the first period start and the period of the next one. The period between that is about 28 days, and 28 days to 30 days. It's
Yeah, 30.
approximately that.
uh,
And if
and
it gets more than 38 days, then we should go to a gynecologist or like that, because it should not exceed 38 days normally.
yeah, yeah. So, are we talking about periods to first period? Obviously, it's very scary for many people. What's happening, and if they don't have someone around them who are there to guide them or tell them what's the process and what's its significance is, it can be very difficult. So I was very lucky because my mother was there, my sister was there, so they guided me. They told me what is happening to me and why is the reason it's happening. Do you guys want to share any story, or you heard something about the first period, or where any story you might want to
I
share?
have an interesting fact to share. I have read
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere
ma'am.
that 72% of girls are not aware until they get their first period that something like this happens to women.
Usually it's because in school they skip the chapter and
Education,
all.
yeah.
In many school they don't tell what's happening and what's gonna happen related to periods or reproduction in a way. So that's the main reason I think they are unaware of that.
Because we
And
don't, like, it's not
yeah,
spoken directly or openly, and it's something to be hidden is what we were taught since we're young, or at least when our parents were young and our grandparents were young, they all were taught to keep it a secret and not to talk about it in public. That could also be a reason that the next generations are not being educated.
yeah, and it could be very scary because my first period happened when I was at home. Maybe someone is not very lucky and he's outside at a very professional place, school or college or wherever it may be. So that can be very scary because no one he knows or sorry he knows I said she knows around him is no one to guide him. Maybe her teacher would help her out or something, but not familiar faces like can be very scareful for someone, I guess.
Yeah, mine was actually it was very. I got like my mother used to help me at a very young age. I got education from my mother about these things, so I didn't face so much problem. And also, I studied in a girls' school, so it was a very actually advantage for me. Yeah.
For me, I was very lucky to be in a school which educated me. Also, my parents did educate me around 10 years old when I was
Yeah.
studying. And also, our school used to have a partner with the sanitary pad companies. They used to come and take session. So that this is what happens, and yeah, the awareness was very good.
Right now I'm in a NSS program at my college, so I go to places and make people aware about use of sanitary pads. So it's really good. I get to do that. Bharvi, you have raised your hand. You want to say something?
Fortunately enough, I was informed by my mom about all these things, I guess 2 years before I started with my menstruation. And I have studied in a co ed school. But I guess nowadays, the younger generation, like the generation which is around our age group, has become quite open about this because a lot of guys in our school knew about this. And our
Yeah.
teachers also, like at times, because a girl still gets a bit shy when things like these happen. And I remember me being in school and one of my friends being like, okay, I'm not sure if I am on a period or not. Please come and stand behind me while I go to the washroom so that nothing is visible. And I still remember our teachers never allowed boys to go together, but whenever two girls used to go, okay, so can we go to the washroom? They used to allow us. So I guess, yeah, today's generation is a bit more aware of these things. And it's a good initiative that people are talking about it. Yes.
I can relate to what you say, Bhargavi,
Right.
because I even I studied in a co-ed,
Mhm.
and if suddenly some girl faces this issue, I my friends or my classmates who were boys, even they would help us. Like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, go to the check something has happened.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but they had this shyness in saying period, blood, or those who were using those words, but they were pretty helpful. And I feel this is there in urban areas, but I don't know how rural areas are coping with this issue. And I mean, there's still like even I see maids coming in and their children don't know much about it. So what I did was I was helping one of my maid to educate her child. She has three girls, and I was like, you should need to tell them because they were already 12 years old and they don't know anything. They come to work like all alone without their mother, so they need to be aware of. So I see that even these people, they are not that open in educating their children or telling them that this is something that will happen to you and you need to be prepared. Celine, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, actually, maybe this is a more urban thing, but people are like this generation at least is now a bit more aware of all these things, and people like mothers, especially like in our generation, like all mostly most of our mothers, like the percentage of mothers who told their daughters of all these things, for us was much higher than what they faced in their generation. Like I used to listen to my mother saying that she never knew about all these things. So when so that is why, like, I think nowadays maybe this is a more urban thing. I don't know about rural areas. and what is the like percentage of people who know about these things there. So uh, the like yeah, in urban areas at least there is a lot of, and especially in girls schools. So I don't know about like co-ed schools, like what is the experience of having your first periods in a co-ed school. So
I
in
guess,
girls school it's pretty normal.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think like since we're talking about families knowing about these things, I also think that it's very important that if a person is a dad to a daughter, then he should obviously know about these things. My dad knows about it. My dad talks to me about it. But I have had friends in school who used to tell me, "Ki nahi, my dad doesn't know about this," and
Yeah.
it used to be so difficult for them to talk about these things. But I think if you are like, if your dad is like, you consider him to be close to you, your dad should know about these things. It's like really important that both your parents should know about what's happening to you and what's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess Celine is raising hand. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I'm pretty sure the dad knew, but he was shy in speaking to the child.
Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah, that,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
Not
no
just
way he
that, I
doesn't
think
know.
even brothers.
Yeah, I
Brothers
know.
also play an important role.
yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. Earlier in high school, what happened? There were no facility about sanitary pads or something. So my seniors actually argued about it with the principal, and they made sure that sanitary pads are available in our school for everyone. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool step to take. Yeah. Also, moving on from first periods to the pain we get through periods, the mood swings we get, and everything included with that that comes pre with periods. It's very hurtful and very scaring for us. I guess time to time mood change hona and craving those cravings. You
हाँ,
can't eat this, you can't eat that. Keeping अपने पास हमेशा एक water bag रखना, hot bag. That feeling, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think that's where it's important that men in the house also knows about all of these things, because the mood swings are so drastic. All of a sudden, we are so happy. Yesterday, we were so happy, and today we are almost lonely and in a corner of the house, depressed. And no one will understand what happened. They might think it might be an external factor affecting us. Most of the times, it's the hormones. Like I said, uh, they are on a rise for the first 2 weeks after the period, and they fall all of a sudden in the third week or just before we get a period. So when these hormones uh, change all of a sudden, and that's when even our mental health is also gets affected with those hormones. And I see that the pain when we shed the lining, like when the egg is not fertilized and we have a period, we get contractions. So contractions happen because it to control the flow. If the flow is not controlled, then that's another issue. But to control the flow, the contractions happen, and the contractions cause the sharp pain. And most of the women have it. I see almost 90% women have it. I am one of the lucky ones who don't, and I keep telling my friends that I really enjoy my time during my menstruation. And people are like, "Are you serious? How can someone enjoy that period?" The period. So
I,
yeah.
in my case, I don't enjoy the time, I guess,
Yeah,
but the,
also some of my uh,
yeah, Manaswita, go ahead.
yeah, some of my friends also tell that they face severe pains during the periods. Like they almost they were absent on the day the first day of the period. Like the pain is so much or like that. But I don't have that much pain there, so I'm that much lucky.
You guys are lucky. I experienced like really bad pain, like cramps and stuff on, I guess, my first and the second day, but then later on the next 3 4 days are like cool and chill for me. But like it's not unfortunate, but sadly my sister and my mom, they don't experience pain and stuff. And I am like, you guys are so lucky because it's so disturbing, especially if you have a lot of work lined up that day.
Yeah.
You have like things you are supposed to do, but you just are not able to because your back and your stomach pains. It's the
You know,
saddest
you,
thing, I would say.
you try some good chamomile tea or something like that, and the hot
Yeah,
patches
no, the
instantly get.
worst part is I also have like doctors prescribe pills, right, for that, like for that very day. But At times even they don't work for me. I like take the pill and I am in the same situation for the next 3 4 hours. It's like I don't know. It's very
Uh,
sad, but
yeah. Most of the
The
women
problem
go
is,
through it. Yes, Ali.
yeah, no, but when we take like every month, if we start taking pills, even those pills won't have like that effect on us.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is why my mother like don't eat those pills. Slowly, slowly, get the hang of what do you say? Uh,
Yeah,
because I don't have that
The
severe
drugs.
of
Yeah.
a pain. Yeah, I have like a mild pain. So my mother is like, don't eat pills for like mild pain. So you'll just get the habit of like suffering that pain. So it won't affect you that much
mm-hmm.
going further.
For me, what my mother and grandmother did when I got my first, like the initial months when I got, they used to give me own food without salt and chili powder. So wow, I there's this interesting story. I was like, they were giving me curd bhi nahi de rahe the. So it was all about milk and rice and all bland stuff or sweet stuff. And I don't like eating sweets.
Oh,
And they used to give me all this, and they say that's one of the reasons that I don't get pains. That could be the reason. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, they suggest not eating anything hot during these times. And what happened was they were constantly giving these, and all of a sudden I was so like, I'm like, you don't give me food, please. I can't handle this thing. And then my grandmother made me nice. What do you call it? Uh, 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 Kebabs.
oh.
Okay, nice kebabs. I was like super excited, and the moment I had them, they were sweet. So yeah, they used to give me a lot of sweet stuff, and not, even now my mother says that yeah, don't eat anything hot. That might affect you, and it might give you a pain. So yeah, next time try eating sweet. Maybe that will help. Chocolates, see, that's the reason. They advertise have chocolates during this
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I
But
think
Yeah.
actually,
yes, it
yeah, it depends on a person to person. Like
True.
my mother used to like initially my mother used to tell me don't like drink too much water, otherwise that pain will increase. But I experienced that drinking water actually decreased my pain.
Yeah.
So it depends on person to person. People don't get
No,
pain,
actually, it helps.
and
Actually, drinking
even the
water
cravings are
is
different for
important.
people.
Yeah, water helps.
I,
Yeah,
But if there's
like a person like a chili person may become like a sweet person for like 5 days or something. So it depends, yeah.
yeah, but if
I
there's severe pain unhandleable, guys, go to gynec. That's what we lack in our country. I feel that once we attain puberty, it's very necessary to see your doctor every 2 years at least, 2 to 3
mm-hmm.
years. That's what is missing. I guess none of us go for a just checkup that how is our reproductive health.
Yeah.
So
Utkarsh here says in the chats that he gives ice creams, especially the dark chocolate ones, to his younger sister, to his sister when
it's very
she's
nice.
going through her period.
Good
So
job.
sweet.
Yeah, good to know you're aware of
Yeah.
it.
Great. Okay, so now we are talking about tackling periods. So there are basically three ways to control the flow of blood. There are tampons, there are pads, there are menstrual cups. So pads are basically normal cotton padded leaf kind of thing which you attach. And tampons are basically for sports person. They give them the grip that they need during the sport. And menstrual cups basically allow you to remove all the blood from your body till the time it gets out of your body. So, what do you guys prefer? And if you want to elaborate something on that,
I prefer cups.
Oh,
Now that I've got used to it, you just don't feel that you're on a period.
oh my
You
god.
just you forget. Trust me, guys. You just forget that you're going through something, and even घर में people are like, if I'm not using a cup and I'm using for going for some other method for a pad or something, they can see the difference. Like, yeah, she's irritated when I'm using a fan or something, and I'm very happy when I'm using a cup. Trust me, guys, it's the best thing ever made for us. But we need
Wow.
to make sure that we change it, like empty it every 8 hours. so that we don't catch any infections or something. The same goes with the pad. Earlier, even I used a
Yeah,
pad.
yeah.
Mhm.
Even with
So
pads,
Yeah,
you need
exactly.
to
You
change it every 4 to 5 hours. Yeah.
4 to 6 hours. Yeah, now they
yeah.
even they suggest that change by 4. Earlier they used to say at least change by 8 hours. Now they are
Yeah.
very specific to change it by 4th or 5th hour. So tampons, I have
Mm.
no idea, but yeah, I've seen my friends using it.
Yeah, basically spokesperson prefer tampons because it really sticks to its base basically. So they prefer it during sports. That's why tampons are fine with them.
I
You know,
Nothing.
I
They are
sorry,
similar.
yeah.
no, no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Bharvi.
No, I just wanted to say that I like even best methods of all these is a cup because there's not a lot of wastage, uh,
Mhm.
and the waste collection people or the waste segregation people in India, at least, there's not a lot of safety when that is done. And when people are just touching our used pads or tampons, it's not healthy for them to touch. I guess we ourselves won't touch it after using it and washing it and throwing
Mhm.
it. So when
Mhm.
they segregate the waste, it's not very good for their health, and that's the reason I promote that people.
Yeah, but people use basically because it's cheap than menstrual cups now.
Yeah,
People
now
can,
it's
yeah.
affordable. Now we are also getting affordable ones, and they are
Okay.
also assuring that this the lifetime of a cup is 10 years or until the color or something fades off.
Acha. Okay,
Uh,
okay. Great. Yeah, Celine, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, so now like as the climate change and greener go green goes more into effect, people will start the awareness to switch to menstrual cups will start happening, because now even now we get some at least on YouTube we have those ads saying that this is like environment friendly and everything and stuff. I've not personally used it as I'm still on my pads. So uh yeah, but as at least I think, yeah, as much like going forward, I think menstrual cups will be the go-to for everything. Like,
no, actually,
Yeah,
there's a lot
I
of taboo around these cups also. Not half of the people
yeah.
believe that they are good. Half of the believe that that's not good. Many mothers don't allow. I've seen people in my friends' families, my own families, they don't allow their daughters to go use the cups because they might feel that's something being inserted into your body. So
Mhm.
until knowledge is spread, people will not feel comfortable using them because when there's no idea and there's a lot of fear when we don't have knowledge on something.
Also, I was watching this video on menstruation once, and I remember there being people still have this. I don't know if I'm supposed if this word is quite apt to be used here, but to be very blunt, a lot of people, because of that virginity thing that's there, a lot of people are still afraid to use tampons and menstrual
Yeah.
cups. But I read it somewhere also, it's like that particular tissue which breaks off can happen because of your normal hormonal changes also. It's not necessary that it breaks because of a menstrual cup or a tampon. And I think it needs to be made very clear so that people can make their, like, girls can go for their own choice rather than believing in these stereotypes. So it's very important that, yeah, Celine.
no, but we are like living in a country where girls are still using cloths, so that is very futuristic to think.
Yeah. In rural
So
areas,
yeah,
especially, I
but
have seen
yeah, exactly.
they are still using
Yeah, the
clothes.
whole Padman thing, like when we were, I was like literally shocked. And when I heard like my mother speaking, like even like my mother's family was very forward about these things, but like she used to see her friends still using cloth, and she used to like encourage them to switch to pads. So yeah, so when I heard all these things, I was like, okay, these things did happen and do happen right now also. So yeah.
I
And
believe
they
in
don't
India until
usually,
2000.
yeah. Oh, I was saying just I don't. I know that for a fact that they don't usually change the cloth daily. They used to wash that cloth only and reuse it. So that's kind of an issue also. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Like,
also, I've heard that until 2000s, pads were not very famous among women. So I heard stories that they had to use from my grandmother. Okay, my at their age there was no sign of a pad in India. There might be in, but they were not educated, or they did not have knowledge on pads until they started working. Like my grandmother started working and all. So they used to use a cloth, and either they would wash it, or the way of disposal would be bury it in the soil or burn it off. So yeah, they were
Yeah,
not
but
very
fortunately,
prepared.
things are changing. Many people are establishing their own factory, small cottage factory kind of thing, and the government is also pushing things right now. So yeah, it's really changing.
Yeah, they're making things very affordable so that many girls can afford it. And government schools are also providing it for free, if I'm not wrong, in few states.
No, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, things are changing basically. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, which is PMS, Pre-Menstrual Syndrome. Anyone want to share anything? What is it? Alekhya ma'am, you wanna?
The most dangerous thing the women
Yeah,
go through. And I don't think that we are understood during that phase. No, there's also a bit more dangerous than PMS. That's PMDD. That's even more dangerous than this. But PMS, uh, it's more irritating when we are going through that and someone comes and says, ये वो टाइम वो महीने वो टाइम है क्या, या is it that time of the month, or even for just for a tease they would say that, and it's even more frustrating. So I face a little bit, but fortunately, not a lot of it. But I've seen my friends, my family going through that phase that just before we get our period, they are like very depressed. Uh, the anxiety within them increases, and suddenly the personality of a person changes. So it's also assumed that during these times there is a bipolar personality that happens medically. I'm not sure among how many people and how it happens medically. I'm not sure, but yeah, the people I've seen around me and my friends, the peer group, and women I've worked with, I see that they go through it, and myself also. I go through it, and I see that going through that is not I mean, going through that is not that hard, but it becomes hard when we are not understood. I feel all of a sudden, either we are the reason that something happens, or the mood fluctuation is very bad, and someone says something or we say something, and at the end, and we end up being in a depression. So all this is nothing but a PMS phase.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and it's
hope
not good to call your sister crazy. Okay, I have a brother also. He doesn't understand me.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying, कि हाँ अभी हम लोग चिड़े हुए हैं, and all of a sudden someone comes in, is it that time of the month, or are you going crazy?
They
No, no,
joke
cannot
about
be.
it, but it's not fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
Utkarsh,
we
you want to
can't
add
at that
something?
time we can't perceive it
Yeah,
as a.
that's not crazy like they undergo like mood fluctuation. So I prefer to keep silent and ask them whatever they want, whatever they are feeling wanted to do. Just go through कि चल मैं तेरे को लेके आता हूँ कहाँ जाना खाने, just so that they feel very okay and cozy. And then cause I already know that's the time of our month. So rather than saying crazy, we understand that yeah, this time
Yeah,
is
yeah,
there.
we got the gist. We are
Mm.
just making fun of you, so don't have to
Yeah, I
explain.
got you. Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice
Celine.
that you understand.
Yeah, Celine.
Like I mostly think, like, for me mostly it's I'm constantly on my edge at that time, because, like, yeah, so we know it in our subconscious mind. We know that we are going to get our periods, sometime. Like, I start getting my back pains, or that strange feeling you get in your gut that that indicates to you that you are going to get it. So then you're constantly on your edge, like you're constantly going into the bathroom and checking. So I think that also may like factor in all these things, the what do you say, the irritation and the uh, I don't know about depression because I haven't faced it personally, but I know I've read it about many people, many women who face depression before they get their periods. So yeah, I guess that can also factor in.
Yeah, so how to handle these things basically? The pain we can handle using hot bag or medications, but I don't prefer medications at all. That can be dangerous sometimes. Using a hot bag or making yourself comfortable basically. And with these depressions or mood swings, what do you guys suggest? How to handle these things?
I can't emphasize enough on exercising because that really, really helps. At least in my case,
True,
it
true.
really helps a lot.
Yeah,
Because after exercising, we have that high, we are high on endorphins, the happy hormones. So even during PMS or even during periods, okay, we can exercise. Most of them, they say don't jump, don't sit like this, don't sleep like that. But yeah, we can exercise. Yeah, the it could be mild, not very high intensity workouts, but yeah, exercising definitely helps. That's what works in my. I don't suggest medicines unless uh, a doctor intervenes in a
yeah,
PMS and it's that drastic. Otherwise, exercising, drinking water, meditation, even meditation to calm your mind down, and of course,
yeah.
support from your family and
Family.
friends.
Manaswita, you wanted to add something?
No, no, actually, I was supporting her.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I also agree with Alekhya. Basically, basic meditation, that all we can do to keep ourselves calm. Okay, so moving on, we talked about depression and things. This is also a point of mental health issue. It becomes when when you go through periods and you already have that kind of situation you are going through. So, mental health during period is also an important topic that I think we need to discuss. So you guys want to add something?
Yeah, I think during our periods, especially if there's something you really like doing, it's a good thing you get involved into something, irrespective whether if you're supposed, like, for example, if you like something, you can continue doing something like your hobbies, or maybe you like, okay, not, I was going to say cooking, but it's again a stressful thing, you cannot go for that. But yeah, if you like music, painting, something like that, you can go ahead, keep yourself involved. For me, keeping myself involved or going to sleep helps. I generally sleep at such times because I feel bad only when I have pain. Otherwise, I'm like normal. And yeah, I generally just keep myself relaxed by either going to sleep or just forcing myself to do whatever I am supposed to, or otherwise engrossing myself in something I like to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, yeah, ma'am.
yeah, like yeah.
Uh, so I feel that uh, more stress. You see, our age is still manageable. I want to bring some focus on the mental health that goes through during the menopause. Our mothers. Okay, I guess all of us are at 20, and our mothers are mid 40s or mid 50s, and they grow the mental health that they go through. I mean, the mental changes that they go through during the menopause is much higher than what we go through. Yeah, at times even in our age we can go through that kind of changes, and that's not good. I suggest we should uh, attend to them immediately. But what our mothers go through is even higher than what we go through, because the menopause is when there are no eggs in your ovaries and the hormones still release. So the hormones are attacking your ovaries, but there's nothing to release. So that is even more dangerous. So I've seen that people during that time, the hot flashes, something they called, I guess, the hot flashes, and they they can't handle anything. They're more irritated. They're more sensitive towards anything that happens, and they might be extremely angry at some point of time, extremely happy, and extremely upset. So that's where I want to bring light that we should also understand our mothers that they're going through menopause and support them. If we see that there is a fluctuation in their mind, they're constantly crying or they're depressed, we need to understand that something biologically is changing and ask them if they need something. And if that's extreme, we should take care of them by taking them to a doctor or something, or in any way we can help them.
I think like the during the menopause times, it's also because of the uncertainty they have, because like your periods just don't stop all of a sudden. It's like you might get them after 6 months or after a year, and it's like very irritating when you just cannot predict when these things are going to come, because it kind of hinders our freedom, right? So I have seen my mom being like very irritated when she's like, okay, I don't know when it's, is it even going to happen or is it not going to happen, and then all of a sudden she'll have a lot of pain and stuff, and yeah, it's very disturbing. at and at those points I feel, okay, I'm at the least I'm lucky at this point in time, I know when am I going to face this situation the next time.
Actually.
But for
Yeah.
them it's like so
And
uncertain.
you know, that's not only the case. They might go through periods twice or thrice on a single month.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so
Mm.
that's also the
it's
That
case.
either
occurs during
nothing or it's
menopause.
too much.
Yeah, Manaswita.
Yeah, that occurs during menopause time, yes, I understand.
Yeah, I've also heard my mom say, I am not quite sure what hot flash means, but I have seen my mother always tells me, okay, like I am on my period, and she like suddenly feels like there's everything black around her, like everything just blacks out, and these things are like horrible to hear. I just don't know what they go through when they are in that particular phase. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
at that point of time, see, most even we are in 20s and we are in our age of enjoying and everything. uh, We want to enjoy every moment, and our mothers might stop and get angry, and there might be a clash. But I just want to say it out loud that take care of your mothers, guys, because they are going through a lot of changes.
True, true. Yeah, Celine, you wanted to say something?
Even Utkarsh says something.
Yeah, actually, like even normal girls, normal in the sense our age girls, even they face sometimes when they get their menstrual cycle, they also feel like giddiness, or
Mm-hmm.
some people faint, and especially when you get your first periods, normally I've seen like girls faint, and they like you get the indication, ah, yes, she's going to get her first periods now. So yeah, those like extreme situations are like very scary sometimes, because I have not faced it, so I can't even think of some like fainting someday, or like maybe I won't get it, but touch wood, I don't get it.
Yeah, it depends on person to person, I guess.
Yeah. And
Yes.
not only our mothers, now even our generation now is facing so much issue with the reproductive health. We have PCODs, we have PCOS, and it sounds like almost a common phenomenon. I see every second girl facing it. I see like almost it's like all around. People are talking about it. That yeah, PCODs and we don't get periods regularly, or there's so much of pain. There are cysts in the bodies, like by age of 18, also 18 or even below. These syndromes are being brought to notice. I don't know if this is being brought to notice, and I or even observed in rural areas. But at least here, in urban areas, I see it a lot everywhere. In fact, that yeah, I have
Yeah.
PCOD and
Yeah, I've seen also girls with this PCOD problem, and they get mood fluctuations much more than normal people. I've
yes,
experienced that thing.
they suffer a
Yes.
lot because
Also,
even they don't get periods regularly. Few people get it. Uh,
Yeah,
I've seen my friends, they get periods once in 6 months, and due to this, their body weight increases, and there's a lot of mental tension that why are they not getting it? When will they get it? Like again, it's an uncertainty for them, and every month during that time, it's very irritated, but they don't get the period, and again, life goes on.
yes.
But
Celine, you
every
want to add something?
they get it.
Yeah, no, like I used to hear from my teachers, at school, that nowadays students are nowadays even fourth standard, fifth standard girls are starting to get their periods, first periods, and that is scary, because that is not the normal time. Like
Yeah,
at school, at like in the books, in science, it is normally written that it's usually after we get into our teenage, or 13 and above, you start getting those things. So yeah, nowadays it is getting faster and faster. So yeah, nowadays
Yeah, that's
girls
certain
don't get
changes
to
in hormones.
enjoy their premenstrual time, whatever you
Yes,
call it.
and yeah, so that's why it's better to keep them aware about these things, so though they don't get panic or something, na. Okay, so we talked about mental health. Now moving on to physical health and hygiene. Uh, According to me, for hygiene, you can shower twice a day during periods, change your pads
Regularly.
in every 4 to 5 hours, wash your hands properly after changing pads, or after changing pads. Do you guys want to add any other hygiene measures that people can take? Yeah.
Mm, I guess that's all, but yeah, not just your our personal hygiene. I want to focus also on keeping the house and the bathrooms or the public toilets, school toilets clean. So usually, if we are changing the pad or emptying a menstrual cup, we don't want the next person to see it, or because it's not pleasant. I would not like to go into the washroom and see that, oh, there are blood stains, and then I have to either clean it myself or go to some other washroom to do my job. So that's also important to keep the house hygiene and the washroom hygiene in mind. And yes, washing hands is very important when when it comes to cups and tampons, because we have to insert it inside us. So it's very important to wash hands before and after the usage of these things. That's it from my side.
Yeah, true. Anyone else wants to add something?
Yeah, adding
Yeah.
to what Alekhya said, when you're disposing your sanitary pads, it's very important that you dispose it off properly, because a lot of people do dispose off in their dustbins. And at least where I stay in these areas, we put out our garbage at night. All of it is put outside our houses at night. So it's very important you wrap your pads properly and the blood thing is not visible, because it's actually not, it's actually gross. I myself won't go back and look at it, right? So I just shouldn't expect like the people in my house to be okay with it. So yeah, you should wrap those things properly. And yeah, that's from my side. Otherwise, whatever Alekhya these said was so important, washing hands and stuff for our own health, it's like really important.
And also, I was taught to wash the pads also, like just keep it
Yeah,
under the
yeah. I
tap.
have never, like, I didn't do it ever because I was never told of it, but I have had friends who were like, we wash our pads before disposing them off.
Disposing it off.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, if that is possible, I would suggest that also. But yeah, again, it depends on the situation. If we are like in like yeah, it depends on if the washroom is for ourselves or is it shared, and yeah, we don't want it disturbed. So whatever is convenient, do it in a safer manner so that it doesn't affect the next person.
yeah,
Okay, so Charvi suggests that do not wash your hands. It's not hygienic. Charvi, you want to add something? Yeah, maybe through messages only. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so I
we'll,
was just saying that it's a
yeah,
misconception that you need to wash your pads. Please don't do it, guys. It won't change anything.
Okay.
It
exactly.
won't help cleaning them.
Yeah, just keep them, pack them in a way that no one touches it, or
yeah,
if they touch it, they don't get to touch the main thing, basically. The
yeah,
pad they don't touch, and the unhygienic blood they don't touch.
Yeah,
Washing them, I don't think it's a great idea, because it would only mess
hmm,
up the place, your bathroom only. So I don't
yeah,
think
what
it's
I
yeah,
do is
a good
that
idea.
wrap those things with newspaper and then
Yeah.
dispose.
yeah, yeah,
Then
same.
then throw
Yeah.
them in a plastic or something. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be good.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
our school we were taught like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that
us,
would work.
we were made aware of washing because, like exactly for the same reason that someone else is going to touch it, and if
hmm,
they touch the blood, it's not good for you or them. And also, what happens is when we wrap in a newspaper, so the problem with wrapping in a newspaper is that it goes into a recycling waste if it is not properly noticed. If you wrap in 2 3 papers and they don't see it as it's a pad, they'll put it into recycling, which is again an issue. So that's where we need to properly and mindfully dispose the pad. Nowadays, we get
Also,
sanitary pads with wrapping stuffs like I guess Noah pads, and I don't remember the names. Garmacy. These these guys provide the cover to be reused as wrapping and throwing it off instead of using it a newspaper.
Yeah, actually, because newspapers can also be harmful in another way because usually
Yeah.
our waste is all dumped in a like a dustbin on side of the road or something, and
Hmm.
there are dogs and cats
Dogs.
all
Yeah.
over it, and they snatch it, and they are tearing it all over, and then that is also not good for anyone. People who are staying near those places, like we have these nalas, which are used as dumping grounds. So actually, this is more of a government thing that the government needs to do. Government needs to what do you say, uh, uh, be more proactive about these things, like properly of to actually the problem is our waste disposals, they themselves are not that much educated. So we need to educate them how to even this even with waste, dry waste and wet waste. So how this is actually this should be another type of waste that has to be dealt with in a very different, like in a very with very much care. So yeah, that is like, I don't think that will happen very soon in our country.
Yeah, correctly said. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, which is basically taboos related to menstruation in India. um, Everyone heard, yeah, everyone wants to speak their mind, but I firstly want to add that people think that a woman gets impure when they are going through periods, so they can be involved in many religion or many stuff that they do in a daily basis, and I don't think that's true. What do you guys think? Yeah, go on, Alekia.
No, I want to add one thing for the topic before about the pads and disposal.
Yeah, 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 sure.
So that's where I feel we also have to shift to cups because there's no wastage. You just have to empty it in the toilet, and it's you can clean it and just use it again. So there's no
Okay.
issue of
Yeah.
someone else touching it, or we the disposal is very safe in the menstrual cup method. That's
Okay.
it. And for the taboos, yes, even now, many families, almost 90% of families might really, probably it's changing, but yeah, they still consider the women to be impure, because I guess it's all goes back to the generations before, where it was again kept very silently, and no one had the voice to say that yeah, it's not impure, but it's the biology of a woman. No one was
Yeah,
ever
it's
able
natural.
to
No one
explain.
can do anything about it, no. It's
Yeah,
natural. And earlier they used to send the woman in totally another room, another part of the house to
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
them away.
Yeah, complete
That's
isolation.
so, yeah, complete isolation. That is
Yeah.
so disturbing. Yeah, Lekha, continue.
They're
Sorry.
not allowed to go to kitchens and
Yeah.
everything, like
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Don't take part
That's
in
like
puja
that.
and all. Still people, religion basis is still prevalent nowadays, but other things are changing, like women are making their way into the office or school or coming out of the shelter for, yeah, complete isolation
According
is
to
reduced.
Sadhguru, it's not that
Yeah,
we're impure with, but the chakras that we have, we are at the
Yeah.
highest power, or I don't remember if it's the highest or the lowest, and that's when we could also attract negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
So
exactly.
that is one of the reasons that we should not go around any other high energy that could repel us or that could attract us.
and particularly by high energies, I think it's like those temples. Nowadays temples are like built anywhere and everywhere, but previously, like previously in the sense very previously, we have those like really big temples which have like really huge religious importance. They do have high magnetic, I don't remember, some kind of energies
Yeah.
which might really really hurt a woman, is the reason why you're not allowed in temples. But as for my place at my home, it's not like, because I've heard it a lot of places, they're like कि, जो भगवान का all the stotra and stuff we have, or all the hymns and stuff. At my place, it's not. My mom and dad never restricted me from going for prayers and stuff in the evening and all. But yeah, when it comes to temples, even I don't go because
Yeah,
that's
so
something I believe in. It has a
I
scientific
also
reason,
do.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It has a scientific reason, but people think that we are unpure, so we can't go
No,
Yeah.
and.
that's
That's not
wrong.
the reason. I also don't enter any temple or during
Yeah.
my period, but people think
Right.
because of our unpure, we are not giving the opportunity to enter.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Anshuman, you have
Anshuman
raised your hand.
and
Yeah.
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 Yeah, hi. Very interesting discussion. Yeah, about that thing, about, that point you guys mentioned about women not being allowed in the kitchen during menstruation. I personally haven't experienced that, but I did have a Jain friend in college, and he mentioned to me that in Jain families, when women are menstruating, they're not allowed in the kitchen, and that's basically that 1 week men are supposed to do the cooking and all. So that was, I actually didn't know it was that prevalent. Actually, when he told me that, I actually thought it was pretty weird and rare, but I see it's like pretty prevalent in India. And Yeah, yeah, nice discussion, guys.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's very rare that they don't
Mhm.
allow women to do the household chores. Basically, they temple thing is very prevalent, but how daily household chores are allowed, I guess, because
Yeah,
I
it's
they
very
don't.
rare, but actually, I have
Yeah.
seen one family. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you have
I,
experienced the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I guess previously because I had asked someone, I guess I'd asked my dad or someone ki aisa kyun, like why don't they allow people in the kitchen? So my dad just casually told me at that point in time ki that's because initially there weren't like nowadays you have pads and stuff to prevent it from like falling and
yeah.
stuff. Previously girls didn't have the right means to take care of it and entering the kitchens and stuff because we ingest the food, right? So it can be really unhygienic and bad for others' health is the reason why they weren't allowed in the kitchens, but that doesn't mean you should like isolate women and keep them in a different room. Not going to the kitchen is okay
Yes.
because
See,
for that particular week, someone else can take care of all the
yeah.
household chores, right?
So there is a reason behind it. Now there is a practical reason behind it, but people think that that's not the reason because we are impure. We can't do all those things.
Hey, Salim wants
Celine,
to say something.
yeah,
Yes.
Celine, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, like when you say like when as Anshuman shared about the Jain thing, I never knew about it, but I am also very disturbed, not disturbed, but I'm also very worried when people find these generalizations. Okay, so these magnetic, there may be some science behind not going into temples or not entering the kitchen, but then that should be like subjective. So you make the women aware about it, and then leave it up to the woman, because even like
I agree with
even
you.
as like the yeah,
It should be my choice that what I want to do,
exactly.
go to the temple or not, or whatever.
Yeah, and like as the depression and all these things, like it applies differently to every person, right? So every person has a different capacity of maybe suffering that pain, or getting that pain. So even that may, like, I don't know the proper science behind all these magnetic stuff, but I reckon it might be like that, because not everyone faces those same maybe extreme pain, or because of those magnetic attractions or whatever that is. So it should be left to the
Also, these
person.
magnetic attractions, it is a very subjective topic. You might
Yeah,
believe in it, I might not. So
Yeah.
it should be my discretion.
exactly. It after all depends on a person to person. Like every person, it is very different to every person. So to make all these generalizations is very, I become very worried when people start talking like, okay, this is, I like, people should do this, and maybe cooking is like what do you say, a hobby, not a hobby, like a favorite thing to do for a person when he or she is suffering that PMS, or the extreme pain or irritations, or mood swings, and they want to relieve themselves and go into the kitchen and cook something. Some people like cooking, and they do get that personal freedom when they cook. So to snatch that away from a person is not good, is my opinion. So yeah, maybe it will change as we go ahead, and
On similar
next
lines to
generation.
what Celine said, I think previously it was okay, like not letting women, like still like not completely okay, but I would say yeah, because hygiene is really important. But today it shouldn't be done because again, today you have all the means, right? There's no way there could be any unhygienic thing happening in the kitchen and stuff. So it's not at all right when they're restricted from going into the kitchen until someone is ready to, help them out, and is the reason why they're not allowed to go there. But yeah, I guess it should be, it's like a subjective thing again. Yeah. Yes, Celine has raised her hand again. Yes.
Yeah, like also now the lifestyles has also changed, right? Previously
Mhm.
women didn't go to work, women didn't do all those things, but nowadays you don't have any other choice. You're going to work and then coming home, and everyone has to cook, and everything has to be done. All the chores has to be done, like so everyone has to pitch in. So the husband, the wife, everyone has to pitch in and do all the work. So there's no, like, so periods are going on, so you can't do this thing, you can't do that thing. That will, like, at least in my understanding, it will totally, it might be a good reason to make the men do do the household chores, but then it
If
also
you
again,
don't like cooking, it could be a boon for you.
yeah.
That's the rule in your house.
So
And
adding to this, I would say that yes, at our homes for the 3 days, I don't cook. I don't do anything. I have the luxury to pass it on to my husband. He has to do everything. So I mean, even he says that yes, you deserve the rest you require at this time. So all I do is just rest. So I personally myself, I don't like touching everything. Though I use a cup and it's very hygienic and very safe. But since like this mentality was imbibed that we should not touch and it's not good for other people, I just keep things to myself. I stay in my room and yeah, I let the chores happen by him, or we order, or the maid anyway comes in. So it's the cooking part that either he takes care of, or my mom helps us, or my mother-in-law helps. So yeah, I just chill all 3 days. So that's my personal choice of not doing anything.
people who are suffering, like, extreme pain or extreme tiredness, they should rest, of course. But yeah, it should not, I'm just saying that it should not be generalized to everyone.
Generalist, yeah.
Yeah.
It should given as a choice. You want to do it,
Yeah.
do. If you don't want to do it, don't. But yeah, I guess now the awareness is pretty good that even this is changing. I'm not hearing this from many families. Even the traditional families have opened up to letting their girls be the way they want to, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Anshuman?
previously they used
Anshuman?
to attach. Oh, sorry, Anshuman has raised his hand.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Acha. So I was just saying previously they used to, attach this that they women have done sin, or they are under some evil power or something. So they are used to getting, because they were not aware, and when they see these things like the blood coming out of women, they used to connect it with some other things only that are totally irrelevant at that time. So yes, awareness is now very prevalent about these things. And Suman, you can add. You want to say something, right?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to ask, since you guys brought this isolation thing up, I was again completely bowled over. Didn't know it was happening at scale in India. Like, is it actually happening at scale? And then also another question on that. Like my friend also told me that during those 3 or 4 days, like he is actually not even supposed to make physical contact with his mother or his sister. So is that also does that also happen?
Yeah,
Yes.
I have heard about that things also.
That happens, and
Mm.
that's still prevalent in few communities. Like in Brahmins, it's strictly followed that you're not supposed to touch your sisters or mothers when they go through this period, because the men are so there's something called the when they attain an age of 7, boys age of 7 to 14. So a process is being done for them in Brahmins. Okay, so a thread is being put in their on their body, which is again, yeah, it's debatable, but that is something done very traditionally. So if they touch their mothers or sisters during this time, it has to be changed, and the process is different. So for the Brahmin community, I Even they are changing. I belong to that community. They are changing, but yeah, it still prevails that women should not be touched during that time. They need to be left alone. They need to be. It's more. I feel at least what I have sensed and what I see in my family is we are more respected than being seen as untouchables. We're respected for what we are going through. So yeah,
Also, many people think that this is not good for making physical contact with your partner during menstruation, which is completely fine unless and until you find it, not good or
consent.
gross kind of thing. Yeah, consent, no, because many people don't find it, good because the woman is
Yeah,
bleeding and
yeah.
impurities are coming out. Many people don't find it good, but unless you find it okay, you can connect with your partner on
Mhm.
physical basis. Yes, Bharvi or Celine, you
Yeah,
wanted to add something?
I
Yeah.
was like, even I belong to a Brahmin. Again, Brahmins also have different categories, but in our community, at least in Mumbai where I stay, my family and my grandparents and stuff, they don't like literally stop touching us, and because it's not actually possible. At my place, it's my dad and then me, my younger sister, and my mom. Just imagine how my dad is going to stay for like 7 days without all three of us. So it's impossible. But yeah, in my village sides, I have still heard my mom once told me that she had been there for a Ganesh Chaturthi celebration and she was isolated. So not going to temple should be subjective, obviously because of those energies and stuff. But then again, these ceremonies and stuff, I think it should be okay if like I don't know that I find something a bit debatable. But yeah, that this isolation thing is like a complete no-no for me. I just cannot. I don't know
Access.
how am I going to stay in a room for like 7 days at a time? That's so
Yeah,
So yeah, we don't stay in a room. I
exactly.
keep roaming around the house, and we no only
yeah.
me and
Yeah,
my
that's
I am not talking
that's a
about
privilege
much.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm talking
that's
about
obviously,
privilege
yeah,
where
most
uh,
places they isolate the women. Yes, that's the most horrible
yeah.
thing that she has to
yeah.
just stick to one place.
Celine, you have raised your hand.
No, yeah, actually, like not touching, especially people who go through extreme like maybe mood swings or mental health problems during their menstruation period. For them, it is actually a like imagine you're going through depression and then nobody's touching you, nobody's talking to you, you've been
Exactly.
isolated in a room. That is when problems compound. So yeah, that is a very 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 a topic that should be discussed, and and people should be educated about it. And also, yeah, about having intimate relations with your partner, when that is totally okay if you're not, if you don't have any problems with the blood.
Yeah, it's safe. Basically, it's safe. You
Yeah.
can go for it. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. Now the thing is how to change these things. How to make people aware about these things. So basically, awareness is the first thing. Women education and empowerment is the second thing, and the third thing is like providing them low cost sanitary pad or menstrual cups so that they can keep themselves hygiene and do whatever they want. Yeah, so what other steps that can be taken, you guys think, to improve the situation in India?
I strongly believe it's providing knowledge not just to the women but also to the men, so that when men in the family accept things, it all gets a little more lenient. So
Yeah,
education
exactly.
is the most important thing that
Education at the
uh,
basic level also, at the
yeah,
elementary level, that's also
yeah,
important. Yeah.
yes. So I
Celine, you
strongly
have
believe.
raised your hand.
No, yeah, education and just like enjoy your time. Like this time,
Hmm.
like as cliche as it may sound, but this will also fade away. You will someday you will have your menopause, and then this time will also go away. So enjoy your time, enjoy your periods.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And people also around them need to aware that it is very important factor for for the whole humans. Basically, we won't reproduce or we won't continue our bloodline unless a woman goes through this process. So it is very important that they understand and they support the woman during that time. So
Yes.
yeah, awareness is very important. And also women empowerment, I said, the more women get empowered, they more they can bring change in the society for themselves and for other girls also. And yeah, sanitary pad at low cost can also be a factor that could improve these things. Okay, so I guess we have broadly discovered all the topics. Anything at the last you might guys want to add or something? After that, I have a surprise. So basically, anyone wants to add something, or Alekia ma'am, you want to give a broad perspective of the whole session or overall?
I would like to say that you know, uh, actually, I forgot the point. But yeah, I wanted to add that you know, I'm making. So there was this point where women were associated that they were like some evil has entered them or they're impure and stuff. That is because I believe at that point of time they didn't know that there was something like PMS, or where women can be depressed. They have this highs and lows in their life. So when there was a change in behavior, that was, I guess, considered as being evil or
Abnormal,
impure.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
abnormal.
the brutal behavior of women. But now that this is seen and observed, and I guess everyone is like whosoever, like the urban areas, I feel most of them have accepted it, but we have to see how we can educate the rural areas, because they, the awareness needs to be spread in a way that every girl has the have her own safety first. Let's leave about others, but her own safety is very much important. So yeah, so
Yeah, and
just we
also,
have to. Uh,
yeah, Alekia ma'am, continue please. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, ma'am, go on. Sorry to interrupt.
hello. I can't hear. Uh,
Hello.
Hello?
We can hear you, Alekia ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so she may have some network issues because it's raining there. So yeah, basically support them, understand what the phase they are going through, why are they behaving so abruptly. Ask them, they'll tell you, because nowadays every woman agrees, because many people are aware already. To bring the change, you need to talk about it. Basically, that's why we have this session, to talk about things, because many people were not aware of many situations, like what is PMS, what are the things, what are the natural factors behind menstruation, and what are the things that need to be changed in Indian society. That's why we have this session. And thank you so much for joining. Before we end the session, the two stars of Sundarbans House have something for us. And their performance is basically dedicated to all the young girls out there who are going through this and who are going through the pain and trying to be out there every time they are going through menstruation and being their best at all the time. So first we will hear Manasvita and then Bharati. So, yeah, or you guys can go along. Yeah, Manasvita, please.
Bhairavi, I just need 5 minutes actually.
Yeah, so Bharvi, go on.
Okay. Hey, Alekia ma'am is not there. Let's just wait for a moment if she can join or
Okay, till then we can talk about anything, any questions you
yeah,
guys might
I
have or
guess
anything. Yeah,
we had someone asking something.
yeah, please, Bharvi, tell the questions. We
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah,
address it.
yeah. So okay. Umang says, before ending, rather, Umang asks, before ending the session, if there was one thing that you wish you could enter in the common knowledge of men regarding periods, what would it be?
Okay, so for me, it would be like it's okay, support them. And menstruation is basically a process, natural process. It's nothing to be afraid of. A woman is going through, if a woman is going through that phase, you need to be there for them and just support them basically. What else a man could do basically? It's a natural process. Woman is going through this, and you can have their back all the time. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We have Alekia ma'am next.
Yeah, Alexa. Huh?
yeah, I'm back. Sorry, what did I miss
Okay, so
it?
the question is, one thing that you want to get into a man's head before about
Yeah.
menstruation, what would that be?
I would just say be as soothing and as understanding as possible. That's it. That's the
Yeah,
only answer.
Mhm.
That will comfort your women, your friends, your mothers, your sisters, and everyone. We don't expect anything else. The only thing is
exactly.
just be
Absolutely.
there for us. That's it.
Yeah.
Celine, Celine, you have
Same.
raised your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, uh, um what I would say is like there's nothing like you don't have to ask questions about it, or you can't even talk about it. There's nothing like this. We like, if you have some question or something and you want to ask a woman, your friend, or your sister, and like you want to ask something, it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong about it. Maybe if she's irritated, like it's all about like judging your person, judging your friend. And like when we were small, we used to judge our mom's mood, and then go and ask for a favor or something. Like it's just like that. So it is all about, don't need to, don't tiptoe around us, or don't behave with us differently than you do, with your
Then
other
in
friends,
normal
or
phase,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, than in normal times. So don't
Or
do anything of that sort. Just be yourself and just
yeah.
let the woman be herself. Yeah,
Also, I would
exactly, just be
want to
normal.
add, yeah, just be normal. Also, I want to add, if you are aware of it and you know that, make sure that your friends around you also understand those things, because you can talk to them about it now. So make sure that they feel normal about it and they also support the woman around them. That could be a thing that you could change, basically. Yeah, Alekhya ma'am.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same, that yeah, if you are aware of it, educate not just your friend circle, you can also educate the younger girls, and if you see someone has a problem, if you see bloodstains on women, just try to educate. If they are not aware of things, just help them out instead of shying away from it. Take a stand and help them out. That would be appreciated.
Exactly. Okay. Any other question, Bhargavi?
Nope, I don't think. I'll just go
Okay.
through. This very good thing I read, Charvi added, and I
Yeah.
guess Madhugandha and Alekhya ma'am also said, like, please don't ask, are you PMSing or is it the time of
Yeah, exactly. It's so
Yeah.
irritating. It's so irritating. Yeah,
Can't emphasize enough how much we hate that question.
Mm-hmm.
very.
I know, right? Also,
especially
yeah, yeah.
especially when it's asked like in a sarcastic way, like हाँ आज तो तेरा mood खराब है, पक्का तेरा वो time चल रहा होगा.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when it's asked in we can understand when you're asking in a curious way, or in a sarcastic way. When you're curious, we can understand that you want to ask, you maybe, are you are you on that, like, are you on that time of the year. But when you're asking like in a sarcastic way, that is when things get irritating.
Exactly. Yeah.
And another very interesting thing Utkarsh says is how ironical is that many major deities are female, but all the taboos, like maximum taboos, are prevalent in India itself.
True. True. Very true.
Good one. It's
Okay.
because of the beliefs that we had. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel it's all because what we have gone through centuries before, and that has been passed on to the next generations, and all the further generations. And now we are improving on that, of course. But yeah,
We are
unfortunately,
improving and improving at a very good rate, basically.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
improvement is marvelous, I have to add. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
I,
the rate is not that high in rural areas. So
yeah.
maybe, yeah,
So
that area, the place region divide is a very big thing. Like,
also, in India, many places, menstruation for a girl is celebrated when she gets her first period, in many parts of
Yes.
South
Yeah.
India and Northeast India. And that's so great,
Yeah.
Yes.
celebrating something that is basically considering.
Madhugandha, I would like to add
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah,
remember,
go on.
yeah, I remember my mom telling me, ki, okay, it's your first day, right? So she prepared like a nice, in Maharashtrians, we have this sweet shira we prepare of rava, and I really love it. So she prepared it for me. I was so happy, and I just casually asked her, ki, why so? And she was like, that's because now you've entered your womanhood and we are celebrating because it's a positive thing, right? So I was so happy about it. And that should actually be done in a lot of places, huh?
Yeah, that's so great, and it does happen in many parts of India, and that's great. Yeah, Alika ma'am.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it is celebrated even in our culture, our traditions. In South India, I guess it's very common to celebrate that. And it's not, at least in our households, it's not celebrated in a small scale, it's celebrated in a very big scale. People are invited on the fifth day or the sixth day of the period, whatever the good muhurat is, and all. a good depends on whatever a puja is being performed or not. But when people are like they come to visit us and there's a good big feast and people enjoy it. It's like, yeah, you have entered your womanhood. It could be like, okay, giving telling the world that yes, our little girl has grown up. And I
Yeah.
heard a story relating to this, that in earlier ages when women used to get married at a very young tender ages, so this functions, this celebration was telling the kings and whatever used to be prevalent at then, telling the world that yes, our girl is ready to get married or give
Yeah.
birth, because she's ready to get married because she can now give birth to a son or a daughter or a child, basically.
It's basically a perfect party. You get gifts and all things.
Yeah,
All
yeah, a
yeah, it's a
lot.
perfect party.
I
Yes.
remember mine was a very big feast.
Oh,
Like,
you have the party. Oh,
yes, I used to stay
oh
in
great.
we stayed in Delhi, and
Uh,
then my native is Hyderabad, South, Andhra Pradesh. So now it's Telangana. So we came here. And we had a big party and blast, and I had so many gifts. It happened twice, one in my paternal house, one at my maternal grandparents place, so two feasts. It was
I
amazing.
I guess I've seen videos with regards to this on YouTube. I guess one or two, and I quite didn't understand, but now I can relate. Like this, all of them wearing the South Indian saris, and it was.
Yeah. And yeah, it's really very good, like people start to look at you like, yes, you're a grown up, you're no more a child. Okay, that can be taken either in a good way or a bad way, but yes, it's really good when, I mean, that feast is very good.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
basically we can talk about, yeah, sorry.
no, it's okay. I also wanted to say like I didn't know about all this like the first period feast and everything. I actually first came to know in like the Padman movie. So that had a scene on in which they celebrated the girls' first period. I was like, does this happen? So my mother's like, yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. And it's good to have those things. They like it feels like they have a support system and they are being supported about this. Also, guys, we can discuss all day long about India versus Europe, how things are changing there and how things are changing here. It doesn't matter to us right now. Basically, things are changing in India, and that's a great sign.
Even
Okay.
in Europe, things are changing. I see Anshuman
Yeah.
mentioned which one. Yeah,
Yeah,
even
so
that has improved.
we can talk about all day India versus Europe, but the main thing is India was a after independence. It took India a lot to get better and get developed, and now it's getting there. So it's really a big thing. Okay, now our surprise, Harvey. It's your time. Please go on, guys. This
You have a
song is all.
surprise?
Yeah, we have a surprise. We are waiting for you only. So all the or both of the songs are dedicated to all the girls out there and to for their bravery. Yeah, that's it. That
Okay. Am I audible?
yeah, you are.
Okay. छोटे छोटे लम्हों को तितली जैसे पकड़ो तो हाथों में रंग रह जाता है पंखों से जब छोड़ो तो वक्त चलता है वक्त का मगर रंग उतरता है कीरा उड़ते उड़ते फिर एक लम्हा मैंने पकड़ लिया रे जिया जिया रे जिया रे जिया जिया रे जिया रे जिया जिया रे जिया रे जिया ओ जिया जिया रे जिया जिया रे जिया रे जिया जिया रे जिया रे जिया ओ हो थैंक यू
That was great and exactly जियो GRA मतलब जी लो यार खुद के लिए और खुश रहो हमेशा. Manaswita, your performance.
Yeah. Okay. Doing it. रंग बदल बदल के क्यों चहक रहे हैं दिन दोपहरिया, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना क्यों फुतक फुतक की धड़कनों की चल रही गिलहरिया, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना रंग बदल बदल के क्यों चहक रहे हैं दिन दोपहरिया, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना क्यों फुतक फुतक की धड़कनों की चल रही गिलहरिया, मैं जानू ना क्यों जरा सा मौसम सरफिरा है या मेरा मूड मस्खरा है, मस्खरा है, जो जायका मन मनियों का है वो कैसा रस भरा है, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना क्यों हंसारे गुल मोहर से भर गई है ख्वाहिशों की टहनियाँ, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना क्यों फुतक फुतक की धड़कनों की चल रही गिलहरियाँ, मैं जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना जानू ना. That's it.
Thank you for planning such a lovely surprise.
Yeah, so thank you, Bharvi and Manaswita. Manaswita, it was so lovely. Thank you so much for the performance. Both of you, thank you so much for this performance. It was really great. Yeah. Okay, guys, Manaswita and Bharvi, please follow them on Instagram. They are really good. And Manaswita also has a YouTube channel. So go and subscribe, please. Also, please subscribe and follow Sundarbans House on YouTube as well as Instagram. And thank you so much for joining today. It was a really great session. And everyone who put out their opinion, thank you so much for making this more interactive. And I hope this session brings even a little bit of change, and many people got to know some things that they never knew. Thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you so much, and special thanks to Alekhya ma'am for talking about these things and putting this topic on the table, clearing all the doubts. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
for
guys.
participating.
Thank you, everyone.